Welcome back to the 12th man. Delighted they bring you on our show. We're going to be looking at the risk for Europe tonight, as well as looking back at the international break. Two top guests, and it's time to go live. He's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game. Like it's embarrassing.
It's madness. Like, so it's out there getting 350 grand a week. Not even
so only one quick card for me. Like only the one Harley. My opinion is like the game every Apologies, folks, we're about 30 minutes behind with a few technical difficulties. Also, before we start as well, just want to send best wishes to James McCluskey and his family. Steve was meant to come on with us, but obviously had to step away as he's a close contact to the family. So best wishes to anyone connected. Boys, international weekend, not the best. Just doesn't get the same buzz for me. I know we're going to talk about Ireland in a bit. Obviously, Decky living in England. They played against San Marino on Thursday night, I think it was. And that's where I want to start, right? There's been a lot of talk this week about internationals and why there's so many pointless games. For example, England played a second string team the other night. San Marino turned up there and they're just trying to keep the score down, really. So why do you think why is there so many pointless games? And I think do you think is that one of the reasons why there's such a disconnection now between fans and international football?
Good evening, lads. I think regardless of it's what people want. At the end of the day, the EuroLeague was kind of brought on to give all these teams the opportunity to win matches and play. But look at from our own personal point of view, you had a team 98th place, Luxembourg, won their sixth match against Ireland, and them boys are going to pick up with a great one. They're going to love them for the rest of their life.
Emmett, obviously disappointing result on Saturday night for Ireland against Luxembourg. Probably the worst defeat in Irish history in terms of playing a team such a low rank. I think, to be fair to Luxembourg, they've improved dramatically since the last time we played them. And in fairness to us as well, I think we've fallen down. I was just looking back at some of the Irish results over the last couple of years, right? And even if you look at the Gibraltar games last year, they weren't like we completely brought that team aside. And they're another team, they're very similar to San Marino, very part-time based team, and we even struggled in them two games against Gibraltar. So do you think that Saturday's result was a big wake-up call to Ireland, and it's now time to realize this is where we are? We're at that kind of level now.
100%. I was saying that during the match, Gary. Like me and Emmett were watching it. I was just saying that that's where we are. Like we're not anything better than Luxembourg. We've never we've been like that for the last few years. Sometimes we had dig out results and all like, but it's not. I don't know what to do with like. It's just quality of players. You know what I mean, it's just not good
I
enough.
think. Do you know what? There's very little positives you can take from it, but that is the one positive. I think that there's very few people I've seen have blamed the manager, Stephen Kenny. Everyone sort of realizes that it's a player problem, and it's. To be fair to the players as well, I think they can do better than they did the other night, but I don't think they're a team that's capable of going to the World Cups and European Championships the month, Decky. Is that where you already just think they're in a transition period now where they have to try and find that identity that they lost in their Trapattoni and Martinelli, where it was quite long ball football, and now it's basically building from the start?
I think we're going past the transition stage. This is pretty bad. Like, no, I honestly don't see. The only thing I could kind of see now where you would kind of give a bit of life is anybody over the age of 30, 31, just tell them, look, thank you. You give us a good go and just play the young kids and see what happens there. Like, but at the minute, you know, people, you said there you don't want to blame Kenny, and we don't have the standard of players, but Kenny has these championship players at best trying to play out from the back. And
do you know what, Decky? I listened to John Giles and then Dunphy today. They had a half an hour podcast. They do it every week. They done one after the Serbia game, and they didn't agree with the team selection. I think, to be fair, Dunphy can be quite negative, but to be fair, he was quite positive in this. He was saying that he wouldn't lay too much blame at Kenny. He believes there's a problem with Ireland. They're not producing players anymore. You know, as you say, that these players, when they got near the Ireland team 20 years ago, you know, they had Premier League players. You know, now we're really struggling. We have any Premier League players that are more like relegation teams that are floundering between maybe coming up one year and getting relegated the next year. So the standard of player that we have, John Jays was arguing that maybe Kenny has to be a bit more practical. And look, these players aren't good enough to play it from the back. Do you think that there's a I know he's trying to play the right way, but do you think it's almost come too late now with these players?
Well, with the crop that's there at the moment, definitely. You know, I think maybe, and you don't, and it's quite saying it, but maybe if Rice and Grealish had a hung around and you were trying to play that standard of football, you'd have two boys that you could ball the team around. But when you look at that team, you know, you're looking at all the midfielders, the central parts, none of them are playing in the Premiership.
Do you know as well what I couldn't get my head around? And maybe it's easy for us to see Decky watching Matt Doherty. But Emmett, why is Kenny shoehorning Matt Doherty into this team? Will we not be a better balanced team with playing Coleman right back and then maybe bringing an Arnold midfielder on? Because he's now shoehorned Doherty on the right wing back when he's been so out of form this season for Spurs, and he doesn't really offer you anything going forward.
It might just be the case of who he plays for. This is a reputation getting him under the, like, you're right there, to shoehorn him under the team. It's because he looked out of place, and he's not a wing back, like.
And then this is a problem we've had for years too, Emmett, isn't it? We haven't been able to score goals. I think it's just 3 goals in the 10 games Kenny's been in charge for. You know, it wasn't an easy chance, but I think a top striker puts that chance away that Collins had in the first half. And the problem that we have is we're not really creating a lot of chances, so we do need a striker that's going to put the odd one away. And we haven't got that quality up front. So is Stephen Kenny facing an uphill battle for you?
I don't. He probably will get. He probably end up getting sacked. That's the way I see it's going to go. But like, anyone could come on that team and not really do much because of the quality of the players. There's not. You're right. There's not a striker in that squad that you would depend on yourself to get. Depend on to get goals.
This has been coming for a long time, Decky, isn't it? Because even when they had like some Martin O'Neill in there and McMurphy, as a fan, I went to loads of the games at home, season ticket holder. But I felt in a lot of them games that we were getting good results on. We were really riding our luck. You know, we were relying on Randolph making great saves, you know, and maybe taking the odd chance that came our way. We were very hard to beat, fair enough, but it was quite direct football, and it was never going to be sustainable for a long time. And now that they've tried to change the culture, it's unraveling I think we're going to have to go backwards before we can go forwards. Even though I don't think we've got a great crop of players, I do think in a year's time you might see us being a bit better balanced. But yes, probably struggling. They won games.
I think those managers, had to play like that because they knew the standard of player that they had. They had no option. They knew that they had to grind and be hard to beat. No.
You say that, Decky, and fair enough, I do agree there's a lack of quality. But you watch Luxembourg the other night, and they got the ball in and played, and they don't have the players in the championship, So I think it is a cultural problem that Ireland have it. It's been acceptable for the last 10 years. They just lump the ball forward.
I don't think that it was acceptable. No one was ever happy. But like I went to the Euros in France, and we went down to watch us play Belgium, and we got thumped 3-0 and got played off the park. And it wasn't so many years before that before I team was we're just happy to turn up the event, just happy to be there. We're just happy to make up the numbers. And I really do think that's as fan wise. If we were getting the competitions, we were happy. And that's what those managers just try to do. Like even when Martin O'Neill came on after Trapattoni, he never changed the style of football. And Trapattoni was slaughtered for the football that he played. But O'Neill didn't change it. Mick McCarthy came on and didn't change it. They kept on and they kept playing that hard to beat, try to make a 1-0, and we'll see what happens. And now
it's a great point you make, because it's very funny, because I've now seen some fans who were rubbing the back of McCarthy and rubbing the back of Martin, and now they're saying that Kenny's not the right man anymore. He's not got the experience of these other managers we've had. And it's funny because they wanted this attacking, this pass players from the back football. But the problem that you're seeing now is, even though we're playing out from the back and trying to play more passes, we're not any better to watch. We're not scoring goals. So nothing's really changed in terms of our results. And if anything, the results that them managers are getting, they aren't there anymore. So it's a very tricky situation for Irish fans. They weigh up.
Well, it just like you look at that Irish team for a moment, and our best players are 32-year-old right back playing for everything.
He's been riddled with injuries over the last few years.
And there's not anybody in that midfield. They're all championship players. Some of them aren't even getting on the championship level. We were putting our hope for Park to be the next big white hope, and keep on and come on. He's struggling to do it in the League One.
Do you know what I thought with Parrott? I thought he should have played the other night, mainly because Collins has had his chance. Ida had his chance. It was a game against Luxembourg. If you're not going to throw him on there, when are you ever going to trust him? And let's not forget that Parrott was the man that was banging the goals on for Kenny and number 21s. So whatever reason, at the minute Kenny isn't fancying him, and then he brings him on with a minute to go. I don't even think he touched the ball. So again, Emmett, 2 defeats out of 2. I think it's Portugal away next in September before they play Azerbaijan and Serbia at home. Some people have said we're out of it already, no chance of qualification. Some have said, you know what, we might have still a back door if we can somehow go to Portugal and get a result. Is the campaign over for you?
I wouldn't say it's over, but I can't see us getting anything from Portugal. If we get nothing to the game after Portugal, I would say it's over. But I don't see us getting anything. For me, Portugal, they should be one of the favourites. They won it. Well, they probably are one of the favourites. But I mean, they're for. Do they fit like 3 teams?
Do you know what, Emmett? I think that the problem that a lot of Irish people had is they thought when Kenny come on, he would just magically turn it all around. That we would play this. People have this perception of football now that you play the way Barcelona played 10 years ago, no matter what kind of players you have, right? And everyone expected when Kenny come on, Ireland were going to start raining goals on for fun, attack of football, and the expectations been completely killed in these last few games. I think the Nations League campaign wasn't great, but he had a lot of injuries. He still has injuries, and there was problems with COVID. But I think when this campaign started, everybody expected Ireland, for some reason, to get out of this group. People thought that Portugal were, coming to an end with Alexa Ronaldo, not being past his best. They still got great players on there, but I think a lot of people don't look at Portugal as an England or a France or a Belgium. For some reason, they don't feel the same level, and everyone thought that Serbia was pretty much on our level. So, do you think that realistically, Decky, that finishing any higher than third in this group would have been a massive overachievement?
the only hope that you had with Serbia is the fact that Scotland beat them in the Nations League. They get on the playoff, and you were kind of like, no.
But then if you look at Scotland's team,
Germany-
they've got Premier League players like Robertson and Tierney and McGinn, all
Robertson,
at the
Tierney.
level. Do you know what I mean? So
You know,
again, it's a
but I
very
think that's what
exactly, and I think
that's
again,
what-
Irish,
that's what
the Irish, I think the Irish boys that we are too. You look at Scotland and you go, well, if they can beat them, we can. But you know, it's just because you're taking on reputation. But the problem is Scotland's probably a better side. You know? But Emmett, getting back to the original question, right? There was saying to Decky about the, you know, so many pointless games like England and San Marino. Do you think that? See with this, these I know they do that in Nations League, but do you think that that's shown a way forward for like what you could do with the Euros and the World Cup in terms of there's no value in San Marino playing England or France because they're not even touching the ball, so they can't really improve. So would they not be better maybe just putting them on all the bottom seeds on the group again? And even though they can't qualify, but at least they might be able to competitively improve. And then maybe in 5 years' time, you could look at doing something again. I know it's difficult, but do you think it would stop so many of these pointless games, and then it might make international football a bit better to watch?
It might, but I would agree with saying that they should be playing against each other. Like even they build some of their confidence. Like when's the last time San Marino got a win? But it's not even accurate. It seems to be they always seem to get like the same teams in the. I know it's all randomly selected. Like you know the
how many times have England played San Marino in the last 10 years?
They say it. It's mad. It just seems to be the same teams all the time. So they need to do something anyway because international football is just not the same. Like,
I think everybody even and I do this every campaign, especially even if Spurs have had a defeat or something or been on a bad run. I'd be like, oh, thank God it's not an international break. I don't have any more stress for 2 weeks. But within 3 or 4 days, you'd be bored, and 2 weeks feel like 2 months. So I think it's the same. Everybody feels it, whether you're winning or losing. But boys, the good news is we're on to the final couple of days before the Premier League's back on Saturday. Obviously the title of the show is the risk for Europe. Decky was saying to me he's not sure why he's on here, and Emmett was sort of thinking the same. But Europe's also Europa League and this new Conference League, so don't just associate with a Champions League. But lads, going to start off. Just do you think the top 4 at the minute? A lot of people think it's set in stone. How do you feel, Decky? Do you still feel Spurs have a good chance of getting on it?
I wouldn't say a good chance, but I don't think it's as far fetched as what people are making out. I think what are we 3 points off Chelsea?
Yeah.
Played the same amount of games, and now finally for the first time all season, we don't have any distractions. We're playing 1 game a week. Hopefully, we get the team set. You never know, but it just all depends on what turns up. You're looking at Spurs' next 3 fixtures, and we've got Newcastle away, Man United at home, and Everton away before the League Cup. And you get 9 points there, and then you're right bang in the mix. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Emmett, Liverpool. You were just saying off camera. I was you've had a look at the fixtures too. Do you feel Liverpool can still finish in the top 4?
Do you? I had a look at all the run-ins, and I just think that it's doable. Like I think Chelsea will drop points. Don't get me wrong; they're a far better team than they were under Lampard. That they are now. But I mean, I think it's doable. But I mean, they could go to anyone. West Ham could still go on there too.
You mentioned a great point there, running, and that's what I look at. So we're going to start right. I'm going to actually start with United because I still think these teams at United. I think United will be safe. Leicester, I'm a bit more convinced. There's a chance they could be caught. But the reason I want to bring United in this, it would be very unfair to not do United after doing Leicester because there's only a point. United's only a point ahead of them. So we're going to start with United. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rhyme off their fixtures. Going to ask you two to give me a 1 draw or loss for each game. I'm just going to take a note of it. I've all basically wrote out from earlier on today. And then we're going to try and I'm going to give you your tibbles based on what you have said to me. All right. So I know mine's ready because I done mine's earlier on. It's quite, you might laugh, but it's quite funny how it all worked out. But
Spurs are winning the league.
I'm going to start with United then. So Brighton at home is the first game, Emmett. Or sorry, Decky, how do you see that going? You done here first.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, so United's first games. Brighton at home on the weekend.
I'll take United one.
One. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Emmett. One as well.
No, I'm going to go for a draw. I think Brighton play good football. I think Brighton could give them a good game.
You're going to go for a draw, right? Spurs away, Decky. As United's next game. How do you see that going?
Mourinho against United. I'm going to go for a Spurs one.
You're going to go for a Spurs one. Emmett, how do you see that going?
I think United will beat these. I think
Yeah, United's going to be pumped up for a bit of revenge after that 6-1. You're going to go for United one. Fair enough. Burnley at home after that, Decky.
Home one.
Home one. Emmett,
United will win that.
home one. Leeds away is next, Decky, after that. And that's going to be like Leeds' cup final because there's a bit of and Leeds, that would have been the one game that Leeds would have wanted at the start of the season when the fixtures come out. That would have been the one game they look for. So this will make it a really interesting game.
I'll go for a point. I'll go for a draw.
Draw. How do you see that one going, Emmett?
United won again. Leeds tried to play
United
again. Like up at Old Trafford, and they just got
You beat 6-2. Next one after that's Liverpool at home, Decky. How do you see that going?
Where's the Champions League? Liverpool still in the
Aye.
Champions League.
So I was going to say that, right? That's sandwiched up between Champions League and Europa League games as well. So I think both teams will play. If Liverpool get to the semi-finals, they will play their first leg before they play United. United will play their first leg of a semi-final before they play Liverpool. So it's a bit of a game.
They United have a weird thing with Liverpool at the moment where they're just bored of life out of them. And
There seems to be a lot of draws between these two teams, isn't there?
I'm going to lean at United one.
United won. Emmett, how about you? Tell me this. When was the last time he's won at Old Trafford? It's been a few years, isn't it? I think it was that Suarez and Gerrard, or the day Gerrard scored the penalties, was it? Or have he won since then? It's been a while, isn't it?
It's been a while now. Because our few matches have been draws, and then they've been
A lot of matches been draws.
But I think we might beat them at Old Trafford. Some of
Draw?
No, I think Liverpool won.
You like Liverpool one, right? Leicester home after that, Decky. Callum just saying 2014 is the last away one for Liverpool. So was that Gerrard day who scored the 2 penalties and Suarez scored?
They've got draw before that. They're away to Villa. Headed or away to Villa.
Where are we at here? They're away to where? Villa?
Aye. 8th of May. They play United in the first. Or play
You're right. Villa. I must follow you. So they play Villa.
I think Villa could give them difficulties depending on their full strength.
Is it Villa away?
Villa away.
Aye. So what do you go for that?
The way I have them at the minute, they're flying. United won.
United won. How do you see that going, Emmett? The way they Villa?
No, I think it'll be Villa.
You think a bit draw. Leicester at home end, Decky. United have some tough games on there, too.
A draw.
Draw. How do you see that one going, Emmett? Leicester at home, Emmett. How do you see that going? Radio silence. Decky, I'll just more drama. Come back to you. That's what scores for. Fulham at home.
They should be. Well, all depends if Fulham are down yet. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of these fixtures.
Don't know what happened there, guy.
You're right, you're gone.
A lot of these fixtures are going to be dependent on form, like, but on paper, you'd actually think United going for top four would have enough for Fulham in the second last game of the season.
So you're going to go for that, Fulham one. Emmett, how do you see United's results going against Leicester at home and Fulham at home?
Leicester, I would say draw.
Right.
Fulham. Oh, I don't know, but depends if
It is difficult.
I'll
You have to try and summarise and see who's going to be. You know,
they'll be fighting relegation. You see, so they might pop. No, I'll say United one.
Yeah, one. Wolves away, last game of the season, Decky.
I'd say United might struggle last game of the season, depending. They could be in Europa League or something. So I'll go for a Wolves one.
A Wolves one. And Emmett, how about you?
I'll go for a Wolves one too, guy.
Tell you what, boys, United might not be safe. All these results you're giving them.
I thought it seemed fair to you, but
well, to be fair, with the way the league has been this year,
up and down all of us.
wait until they get Spurs results.
United have 57 points, right? So, Decky, you've got them to get 60, 63, 64, 67, 68, 71, 74 points. Emmett, you have them to get 58, 61, 64, 67, 68, 71, 72. Interesting. Right, Leicester. Now, Leicester have a really tough run, and I think they really, really need that points difference they have at the moment. I think they're 8 points ahead of us, Decky, and even I'm thinking we can catch them if we can be consistent enough. Because I'm going to read off their fixtures before we start, but their fixtures are Man City at home, West Ham away, West Brom at home, Palace at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, United away, Chelsea away, and Spurs at home. So they've got 5 biggies in there. And they're all back to back. So they've got Man City at home and West Ham away back to back, which is going to be difficult when we come back. And then they do have a nice wee period then. But then last 3 games then, United away, Chelsea away, Spurs at home, all back to back. So that'll be difficult. Decky, we'll start with you again. Man City at home this weekend for Leicester. How do you see that going?
City 1.
City 1.
Man City 1.
Yeah. How about you, Emmett?
Man City 1.
Man City 1. West Ham away, Decky?
Draw.
Draw. Emmett?
I think Leicester will get them.
Leicester with them. West Brom at home, Decky?
You'd have to fancy Leicester.
Yeah. Emmett?
Leicester 1 now.
Leicester 1. Palace at home, Decky?
This will be the run of games where they need to win.
Points here.
No, so you'd fancy them to beat Palace.
Do you know what? The only thing that would make it interesting, if they were to lose them first 2 games, it puts some other serious pressure on that run. But
well, they've got the semi-final for the FA Cup in there as well.
Yeah.
The 18th of April, they're playing Southampton. So
that'll make it interesting. Emmett, Palace at home for Leicester. How do you see that going?
Oh, Leicester 1.
Leicester 1. And then they actually play Southampton away in the league as well after that. So Decky, Southampton away. That'll be interesting because again, that cup final result could sway that. With one team looking for revenge. But Leicester, I think Leicester Southampton games always has that edge now because Leicester beat them 9-0. And this will be their first time going back there since that 9-0. So Southampton will be pumped up for this as well. How do you see that going?
Well, Southampton aren't safe either, so they could be in the run-on for needing points, But Leicester have been at the moment. They seem a bit more consistent. I think I'll aid Leicester 1.
Leicester 1. It's Southampton away.
I'll say draw.
Draw. Newcastle at home. Yeah, I think are nailed on third. Take it down. How do you say that going, Decky?
Leicester 1.
Leicester 1. That should be their 1 victory in there. Secured Emmett.
Leicester, I think big one there. Leicester 1.
And then it will be interesting to get these last 3 because these could be crunch games. United away, I think Decky you had it as a draw.
Yeah.
Emmett, you had on a draw as well. Chelsea away, Decky.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Chelsea away, Emmett.
Draw.
Draw. And Spurs at home on the last day of the season, Decky.
Banker
Right.
Leicester.
Banker Leicester won.
No, I'm going for Spurs. I'm going for Spurs. I have to. Spurs. Spurs won.
Yeah, Spurs at Bayern won the last day of the season.
Spurs won.
Uh,
Yep. We're
how do you
due
see
a big
that
one.
How do you see that going last day of the season, Emmett?
I think Leicester will beat these.
Leicester won that. Right, so Decky, you've got 56. They start with Leicester, 56 points. So there we go, 57, 60, 63, 66, 69, 70. You've Leicester away. And Emmett, you've got 3, 59, 62, 65, 68, 69, 70, 73. Move on to Chelsea. Decky, nice easy one from the start of the weekend. West Brom at home.
Well, they say that they've got Champions League next week, but on paper you expect them to win.
If they don't put West Brom, it's going to give us really. Well, if they don't put West Brom, it means we're getting bitten Sunday.
Big sound. Nah, Chelsea won.
Chelsea won that. Emmett, how do you see that going?
Chelsea won.
Palace away is next after that for Chelsea. Decky?
Chelsea won.
Chelsea won. You might just have to put yourself on repeat for nine pictures for Chelsea, don't it? Emmett, Chelsea away, or sorry, Palace away for Chelsea after that.
Draw. I think it'll be a 0-0.
Draw. West Ham away after that. That's probably one of the hardest games they have left on there. How do you see that one going, Decky?
I'll go for a draw. And West
A
Ham
draw.
are the big.
Nah, they are. As we found out this season. Emmett, how about you? West Ham, Chelsea.
I think Chelsea will beat them.
Chelsea won that. Fulham at home, Decky.
I'm going to go for a draw here. I think Fulham will be fighting for their life.
There's a wee
Chelsea
bit
might have
of a derby too in there. That's a wee bit of a derby.
Chelsea might have Champions League in there too. So I think
Mhm.
Fulham have been hard to beat against the big teams lately. They've been very unlucky. I think they're in Man City that were able to whack them. So
Yeah.
no, I think they might give Chelsea a push.
Emmett, Fulham at home.
A draw.
You fancy a draw as well? Man City away after that, Decky.
I think City.
City. Emmett.
Man City.
Man City won that. I think that could be Tuchel's first Premier League defeat. Arsenal at home after that. Chelsea have a great record. Arsenal against Arsenal at home. Can't mind the last time Arsenal went there and won. Not a happy hunting ground for Spurs or Arsenal there at the moment. I know we've only had that 1-1 in the last 30 years, but I don't think Arsenal have had too many in the last 10.
No.
Decky, how do you see it?
I'm going to go on our point. Draw.
More draw. Emmett, Chelsea, Arsenal.
Chelsea won.
Chelsea won. Leicester, Decky, at home after that. I think we said, what did we say? You said Chelsea won.
Yeah.
And Emmett, you said draw. And then last day of the season, Chelsea are away to Villa. Decky, how do you see that going?
They've always had a good record against Quad. You'd expect that. Chelsea away one.
Chelsea won that. Emmett, how do you see that going?
I think Chelsea will won now.
Chelsea won that as well. So that leaves Chelsea with Decky 54, 57, 58, 59, 60, 63, 66 for Chelsea.
Catchable.
Emmett, you've got 54, 55, 58, 59, 62, 63, 66 as well. West Ham's up next. They've got Wolves away first, Decky, this weekend. How do you see that one going?
I think West Ham, although they're hard to beat, I think they'll struggle to keep the run on. I'm going to go for a Wolves 1.
Wolves 1.
Aye.
What about you, Emmett?
A draw.
Draw.
This is when the bubbles start busting now.
They got Leicester at home after that. I think we had where are we?
I had a draw.
You had a draw, Decky, and he had a Leicester 1, so draw and a loss for West Ham. Newcastle away after that, Decky.
I'll give him a bit of benefit of the doubt. I say West Ham 1. I think
West Ham
Newcastle
won that.
are.
What about you, Emmett?
West Ham 1.
West Ham 1. Chelsea at home, Decky.
I think I had a draw, didn't I?
You had a draw, didn't you? Aye. And Emmett, you had a Chelsea 1. Burnley away after that, Decky.
Burnley 1-0-1.
Burnley. Hey, West Ham's been relegation scrap this week.
Aye. The international break has ruined them.
How do you see that one going? Burnley away.
Draw.
Draw. Everton at home. So West Ham have tough games too on there. You can see they're no easy.
I'll go draw.
Draw. What about you, Emmett?
So Everton 1.
Everton 1. These bubbles they're not just busting, they're fucking
Aye.
Brighton away, Decky. The bubble machine's running right here. No bubbles have to bust.
A Brighton 1.
Brighton.
Another team fighting a relegation battle. Brighton 1.
Jeez, I hope there's no West Ham fans watching this. Emmett, what about you?
Is that away or at home, Gary? Sorry.
Brighton. They're away to Brighton.
Brighton 1 now.
Brighton 1.
See, I'm not the only man.
West Brom away, Decky.
I'll give him that one. I'll say West Ham.
Give him that one.
Give him that one.
Emmett, how do you see that going?
West Ham 1.
West Ham won that. And then last game of the season, they're at home to Southampton, Decky.
All depends how Southampton could be in the cup final at this rate. But West Ham 1.
Well, at this stage, West Ham's going to have to play for at this stage.
West Ham 1. 3 points for West Ham.
West Ham 1. Oh, yeah, Emmett?
Alright, West Ham 1.
West Ham 1. So that gives West Ham, they're on 49, so 50, 53, 54, 55, 58, 61. And Emmett, you have them on for 50, 53, 54, 57, 60. All right, Decky, Spurs, 9 victories or what? Newcastle away, first game.
Big one. Harry
Fancy
Kane.
Now, do you think the fact that we were actually talking about this off camera? Obviously it's not a positive, but if there's any positive to take from being in Europe, do you think this is it, that all these other teams have more games than us, and apart from the League Cup final, we've got a clear run?
It's if you want to say it's the only silver lining, like, for probably our worst ever result, is that when you look at the fixture, and there's some tough games in there, but we keep a fit team.
I don't think the club can have any excuses if they don't see in these 9 games. Now, I was actually saying this to my dad, or was it not a friend? I was chatting to. Clubs now, you should know the way we've had a bit of a 2-week break. Like Liverpool have had a 3-week break when they come back. They didn't play last week. Should clubs now look at this like Project Restart when they come back to a 9-game shootout? You've only got a small run of games, and then you just have to try and take everything that's happened over the last few months out of your head. Look, we've got 9 games now to get on the top 4 if you're Spurs or Liverpool, and just go at it.
I think it's harder for Liverpool because they've still got Champions League. Let's be realistic. If you're a Liverpool player, you're looking at that Real Madrid game, and you're thinking, we have a chance. Like, although Emmett was saying earlier, Real Madrid have won 10 games in a row. Like, well, No, it's not the Real Madrid of a few years back. You know,
Yeah.
they've been nicking ones every time you go on. Benzema's scoring a 90th minute winner or something like that. There, like, so I think it's hard for Liverpool's head not to be turned. You know, again, a team like Spurs, definitely. You know,
Yeah.
you hope that the players come back after this 2 week international break, and you just hope there's no interest. And as you say, look, we've got 9 games. You won 8 of them. You're in top 4.
You're probably in there, right? Emma, what about you? Do you think the same attitude? Just try and forget about these last. Obviously, there's been a bit. You've got 3 in the Champions League, but the league form's been pretty poor. Do you think you just have to try and reset the batteries now and reset your brain and just go again? Now look at it. You know, Liverpool won 9 games last year was almost like you knew they were going to win every game. So if they can just put together one of 9 ones now in the league, you know, they could possibly still finish in the top 4.
Aye, anything can happen. You're right about the seeing as like a kind of restart time. As you say, we haven't played in 2 or 3 weeks, so definitely it's a good thing for us. But Declan's right about the Champions League too, like, because that's all I can think about at the minute. Is Champions League. I mean, it's
we'll get straight into the Spurs ones, Decky. So Newcastle away. Did you say Spurs won?
Spurs won.
Emmett, how do you see that going?
big Spurs on now.
Spurs won. I think Decky had United at home as a 1 for Spurs, and Emmett, you had it on as a United 1. Now, Decky, I've been looking at some of these like Spurs and Everton. I think our teams they're going to have to sandwich games on. We've got to play Southampton because they're going to be playing that semi-final as well. It's going. So I think the most likely date is in between United and Everton. I think that week is probably the week we'll play Southampton at home. You know,
for one of the rearranged fixtures.
Yeah, I think that'll be the week they play it because there's Southampton they've got 3 weeks as well on there, and I think they'll try and get this wrapped up as quickly as they can because there's other games to catch up on. I looked at Everton, even during our team have to sandwich a game on. So I think in fact Southampton have to rearrange their game as well at the weekend they play in the semi-final. So they have to play 2 rearranged games. So I think they'll try and get this one done first. And I think the most likely dates after United and before Everton. So I'm going to just go with that, right? So Southampton at home after that.
Southampton, Spurs won.
Spurs won. Emmett, what about you?
Draw.
Everton away, Decky.
Besides that FA Cup match recently, we've got a great record against Everton. So I'm going for an away 1.
You're going for an away 1.
It's typical Spurs. We're going to go on to the League Cup final and the best form that we've been in all year. And then we're going to get whacked in the cup final. They're going to give us hope.
They're going to give us hope. Never lost Everton really the chances we missed that night and the goals we give away. But Emmett, Everton away for Spurs. How do you see that going?
I think Spurs is a better team all around, but I think your defensive. I'll go for a draw.
A draw. After that, we've got Sheffield United at home, Decky.
Banker home 1.
Banker home 1 after the cup final. That'll be they read the demons out. What about you, Emmett? Sheffield United.
Spurs 1.
Spurs 1. Leeds away after that, Decky.
We're on the trot. So Spurs 1.
Our victory.
Hi. The way Leeds are, definitely. No issues.
Emmett, what about you?
I think he'll have too much for him in the counter attack. Spurs 1.
Spurs 1. Wolves at home, Decky.
Wolves have nothing to play for. We're chopping up
that, right? And these fixtures, some of them look a bit difficult on paper, but you think about Southampton, they'll have their eye in the FA Cup final. The semi-final. Sheffield United are really relegated in my eyes. Nothing they play for. Leeds, not much they play for. Wolves probably won't have much they play for. Villa, who are up after that, won't have much they play for. So there is possibly we're hitting them teams at the right time. Like you seen when we played Villa last week, that wasn't the same Villa we seen earlier in the season when they were banning goals on for fun. So it could work at their benefit. But Wolves at home, you fancy a 1? Emmett, how about that for Spurs home to Wolves?
Draw.
Draw.
I think Wolves are
All
good.
at home, Decky.
Full at home. Spurs 1.
Spurs 1. So Decky, Spurs have just rhymed off 8 in a row here.
Nine in a row. I'm telling you.
What about you, Emmett?
Who defend Villa?
Villa at home,
Villa
eh?
at home.
Spurs 1 now.
Spurs
See,
1.
even more.
And Leicester, I think you had an hour Spurs 1, Decky.
I had Spurs 1.
Emmett had a Leicester 1. So Decky, Spurs 20. I've got 48 and 27, 75 points.
There could be a draw in there, like, but I think those first 4 fixtures, all jokes aside, I think the key one's going to be United and then away to Everton. Those are the big
There's a
fixtures.
crucial period. There's a crucial period in there. Emmett, you've got 51, 52, 53, 56, 59, 60, 63, 66. How many else you have on 66?
West Ham.
No. Aye, West Ham, you're right. No, Chelsea in 66 and West Ham in 60. So
Goal difference.
it'll be very tight there at the top. After Spurs, you get Liverpool, Emmett. So again, I think a favourable run of games coming up as well. So, Decky, how do you see this going at the weekend? Arsenal away.
With Liverpool having an eye on Real Madrid, I'm going to go for a draw.
A draw. Emmett, what about you?
Liverpool 1. I just don't fancy Arsenal in my games. I don't fancy Arsenal. I don't think we should.
You think Liverpool 1?
Liverpool 1 now.
Liverpool 1.
Unless they're Spurs.
Villa at home after that. So again, the dreaded home record will be coming back. Going into this game, they'll still be talking about it. So do you think this is the game they put it to bed?
Aye.
Decky?
Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1. Emmett?
Yeah.
Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1. After that, it's Leeds away. Tell you what, Leeds have a tough run. Leeds have popped up a fair few times now. How do you see that going, Decky?
What's that? Liverpool are coming back, or Liverpool home Champions League, then away to Leeds. I think Leeds will slowly fade off. I'll go for Liverpool away 1.
Liverpool away 1. Emmett, same as.
I'll say Liverpool 1, but I'm not
Liverpool
1.
Newcastle at home should be a formality, Decky.
Yeah.
Emmett,
Liverpool 1 now. They better.
United away. Decky, you had on a draw, didn't you?
I think did I not have a United 1, was it?
Oh, you did. You had a United 1 in there.
Uh-huh.
And Emmett, you had on a Liverpool 1.
Surprise,
All right.
surprise. Alright.
Southampton at home is next for Liverpool. Decky, how do you see it go?
Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1. Emmett, same as.
I think there's only one match. We're going to draw. I think I might be hit. So I'll say a draw.
Draw against Southampton. West Brom away, Decky.
I think it's going to come in either this game or the next game. But I think they'll do West Brom. I think.
He'll do West Brom.
But I think the next game is one of the matches.
Yeah, we haven't given West Brom or Sheffield a prayer in any of these games. Emmett, what about you?
Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1.
Possible
banana skin at the end. Burnley away, Decky.
I'm going for a draw. I think that's the one.
What about you?
Over them.
Is this our last game of the season?
Second last.
Liverpool 1.
And Palace at home was the last game. I think that's a nice one to finish with. Won't have much to play for, and I think it might actually be Roy Hodgson's last game. What about you, Decky? How do you see that going?
And what was it? Was it Benteke a few years ago that did them? No, Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1. Emmett?
Liverpool 1.
Liverpool 1. So, Decky, you've given them They're in 46 minutes, 47, 50, 53, 56, 59, 62, 63, 66. Tight. Emmett, you've got 40, you've got 49, 52, 55, 58, 61, 62, 65, 68, 71. Everton and Arsenal are the last two, and then we'll get into their tipbles by the end. So Everton, how do you see that Palace at home this weekend? How do you see that going?
They've struggled at home of late, haven't they?
Have
So they have, but you'd like. I think Palace is one of them teams that
you just have to turn up, really, don't you?
I think they're away to the beach already. So I'll go for an Everton one.
Everton won. How do you see that going, Emmett?
Everton won.
Everton won.
Hey, Gary, just got notifications. Aguero's leaving at the end of the season there. Sky Sports.
We got a breaking news here, lads. Manchester City confirm all-time leading goal scorer Sergio Aguero will leave the club at the end of the season and be honoured with a statue at the Etihad.
That was always coming.
So that's going to accelerate the rumours for Haaland, for Kane, for Mbappe, whoever they're linked with all over Europe. But Brighton away, Decky.
I think Brighton need the points. I'll go for a draw.
Draw. What about you, Emmett?
I'll go for a draw too.
Draw too. Villa away.
You've missed two.
No, I'll put Villa away in there because they have to play Villa at home, but I think again that's going to be a rescheduled game.
I'll go for Everton 1.
Everton, they won away at Villa. What about you, Emmett?
I'm going to go for Aston Villa 1.
A draw?
No, Aston Villa.
Villa. Spurs at home. Decky obviously had a Spurs one in there. I can't mind what.
Yeah.
Emmett, you went for a draw. Arsenal away, Decky.
Arsenal 1.
Arsenal 1. What about you, Emmett? Arsenal away.
Arsenal 1 now.
Arsenal 1. Villa at home, so they actually played Villa twice before the end of the season, which is quite strange this time of season, but I think that was a rescheduled game from for part of the season. How do you see that going?
I think it was that was COVID, wasn't it? That happened.
Everton did a double for me. Beat them twice in a few weeks.
I think so. Everton did a double.
Do you think Villa? You think Villa running this team big time?
Aye.
Or Emmett, how do you see that going? Everton home to Villa.
I'll say a draw.
No, a draw. 2 draws, gee. West Ham away.
I think I had a draw. I think I had a draw for that one.
You got a draw for that one. And Emmett, you done an Everton 1. Sheffield United at home. Fancy that'll be 2. Fancy 2 ones.
A home 1.
Wolves at home, Decky.
A draw.
Draw. Emmett.
Draw as well, eh?
Draw as well. And Man City away is their last game. Again, I'm probably not being much rating in this game.
City they
City
left the trophy.
Aguero they signed off with a hat-trick.
Aye.
You fancy a City 1
Pretty
too?
much.
Yep.
So Everton have got 46 minutes, 47, 50, 53, 54, 57, 58, 62 for you, Decky, and 40, 49, 50, 51, 52, 55, 58, 61 for you, Emmett. And the last team's Arsenal. You had on there, Decky, you had on a draw for Liverpool. And then I had an Arsenal loss. Sheffield. I actually think Arsenal's running's pretty good. So if they were a bit closer, they might be able to put a. I think it's going to take a monumental. They'll have to win every game, and even that might not be enough because they're so far away. But they still have a chance of finishing in the top 6 for sure if they can win most of these games. But after Liverpool, they play Sheffield United away. How do you see that going, Decky?
You'd expect an Arsenal one.
Arsenal 1. Emmett.
Arsenal 1.
Arsenal 1. Fulham at home, Decky.
After them traveling back from Europe, I'm going to go for a point. They point to Fulham.
Draw.
Give them something right over. Yep.
Emmett, how about you?
Draw as well.
A draw as well. Everton at home. I think it's Everton at home. You had on a 1 for Arsenal.
Aye.
And Emmett had it on. Emmett had on as well. A 1 for Arsenal. Newcastle away for Arsenal after that.
I think that's Arsenal 1. I'd say
I'm going to say a draw.
A draw on there as well. West Brom at home.
Home 1.
Home 1. 2 home ones. They've got a very favourable run. Chelsea away. I think Decky, you had on a Chelsea 1, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, actually, you had on a draw, Emmett, or Decky.
Got it?
You had on a draw, and Emmett had on a loss for Arsenal. Palace away after that.
Arsenal 1.
Arsenal 1. Emmett?
Arsenal 1 now.
Arsenal only 1 out. And the last game, Brighton at home. Last day of the season.
Brighton, they get another point at
Brighton, they get a point to confirm their safety. What about you, Emmett?
Brighton draw. I mean, no.
Right, 2 draws. So that leaves Arsenal
draw.
with 43, 46, 49, 52, 55, 56, 59, 62, and for Emmett, 43, 45, 46, 49, 50, 53, 56, 59. Is that right? 45, 46, 49, 50, 53, 56, 57. So, I'll actually give you mine because I haven't given you mine yet. Where's my phone? And then we'll do yours after. But I had they start off with United, right? I had they beat Brighton, draw with Spurs, beat Burnley, draw with Leeds, beat Liverpool, draw with Villa, beat Leicester, beat Fulham, and beat Wolves. Not left them with 78 points. Leicester, I had them to lose to Man City, lose to West Ham, beat West Brom, beat Palace, beat Southampton, beat Newcastle, and lose to United, lose to Chelsea, and draw with Spurs. Not left them with 69. Chelsea, I had a 1. Bit West Brom, bit Palace, draw away West Ham, bit Fulham, lose to Man City, bit Arsenal, bit Leicester, and draw away Villa. Sorry, bit Fulham the last day of the season. And that left them with 70 points. West Ham, I had them to draw away Wolves, bit Leicester, bit Newcastle, draw away Chelsea, bit Burnley, draw away Everton, draw away Brighton, bit West Brom, and bit Southampton. And that left them with 68 points. Spurs, they bit Newcastle, draw United, bit Southampton, bit Everton, bit Sheffield, bit Leeds, bit Wolves, bit Villa, and draw away Leicester. So I had 7 wins on there for Spurs and 2 draws. Liverpool, I had draw away Arsenal, draw away Villa, bit Leeds, bit Newcastle, lose to United, bit Southampton, bit West Brom, bit Burnley, and bit Palace. And I left them with 66. Everton, bit Palace, bit Brighton, draw away Villa, lose to Spurs, lose to Arsenal, bit Villa, draw away West Ham, bit Sheffield United, bit Wolves, and lose to Man City, and I left them with 63. And at Arsenal, finally, I had a draw away Liverpool, bit Sheffield, bit Fulham, bit Everton, bit Newcastle, bit West Brom, lose to Chelsea, bit Palace, and bit Brighton, give them 64. So my final table was City, United, Spurs, they finished third, Chelsea 4th, Leicester 5th, West Ham 6th, Leicester 7th, Arsenal 8th, Everton 9th. So yours, I think, Decky, you have got
Got Spurs second.
they finished with 74 in second. Spurs already. No, you've actually got Spurs. They finished second on 75 points. Leicester they finished, or United they finished on 74. Have you got Leicester next? Or you've got Leicester on they finished 4th on 70. You've got Chelsea they finished 5th on 66. With Liverpool as well on 66. So say joint 5th and 6th. And then you've got West Ham, Everton, and Arsenal. Emmett, you've got United second. Sorry, you've got Leicester second, United third, Liverpool 4th,
Spurs, Chelsea,
Spurs and 6th, West Ham 7th, Everton 8th, and Arsenal 9th. So pretty interesting tables. Decky, after doing that, do you feel now more confident that Spurs finishing in the top 4? Looking at the fixtures, you were actually looking at your computer screen as well, analysing when teams are playing teams. So do you think now this is a good chance now if Spurs can get off to a 1-0 against Newcastle that the top 4 becomes a bit more realistic?
Looking at the other fixtures that happen, the fact that you've got Man City playing Leicester coming up this weekend, whereas they're 8 points clear. We beat Newcastle away. That's a gap down to 5, and they're looking over their shoulder again. But no, I think with Spurs, the big game's the United game. I think if they beat Man City and they can get 3 points in at home to United, then there's no reason at all why they can't keep on. We spoke about the fixtures that they have. They're going to be playing teams that aren't playing for nothing. God only knows this could be Kane's last 9 games with Spurs, so could be when they go out in a bang. But
it's massive.
But with us, we're great at that, giving hope and kicking it away.
We just have to try and be positive. But when we come to you, right? As you've seen there, you've got Liverpool. They won 1, 2, 3, 4. As you say, out of the last 9 games, 8 wins and a draw. So if you think if they can get them 8 wins and a draw, that'll and you're in that table we don't know, you'll finish in the top 4. So do you think it's still possible as well? Do you feel better now after doing that? Looking at the other teams' fixtures, Leicester have tough games. Chelsea have a couple of tough ones on there. United, even United have tough games on there as well. So you still think there's a chance for Liverpool?
I think we're the best running out of all of them, to be honest. So that's why I'm confident. Well, I'm not confident, but I'm just. I want it to happen.
You have to have fun at some stage. Decky, do you think that it would suit us if Chelsea were to play Liverpool in the semi-final of the Champions League? Get them 2 playing each other?
As much as I want neither, they want it. I think the further they go on, the better for us. They keep them preoccupied. I think as soon as they go out, they'll be like us. They'll have nothing else to focus on. I think you've still got Chelsea will still have one eye on the FA Cup. But
Decky, there's also a serious possibility, right, that Arsenal could win the Europa League. There is a chance. Liverpool could win the Champions League, and Spurs could finish 4th. And because both teams that have won the European competitions have finished outside the top 4, then 4th place would be a write-off. 4th place would mean Europa League football. And we know this has happened to us before. Although back then it was just the team that won the Champions League could finish outside and trump you. But now it has to be both competitions, and there is still a chance that could happen. So if the season was going so well, and say Spurs did get a few wins now, and you've seen Chelsea Liverpool in the semi-final, and maybe Liverpool beating Chelsea out, and they come up to that final, and let's just say Arsenal won the Europa League on a couple of days before that, and it's a City Liverpool final, and if Liverpool won that, we're out of the Champions League, would you be absolutely kicking yourself?
I think that I remember the Chelsea Bayern Munich game well. It was actually the night of my birthday, and I was sitting in the house of her hand with a Bayern Munich top on me, and I've never been as devastated in my life when they won on penalties after getting battered for 85 months. But I think the bigger kick in the teeth that came with that was that we didn't sign Hazard then.
Yeah.
Because Hazard was agreed. As long as we got Champions League football, we signed Hazard. But we didn't get Champions League football, then we didn't get Hazard. And it's the same old merry-go-round as a life of a sport fan. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine, Decky? Could you imagine if Arsenal and Liverpool, or even if we would say Arsenal and Chelsea, teamed up, they won both competitions, they knocked Spurs out? I don't think we could ever. We've had some bad days. I don't think we would ever hear the end of that. Ever.
I think that I could, but the thing is, that doesn't seem far fetched. Being a Spurs fan,
Doesn't.
no,
Emmett,
it really doesn't.
Obviously, you want to win the Champions League, but would that be a sweeter thing if you were to knock another English team out from qualifying?
No, 100%. It would be great. Like,
What's that?
100%. I'd rather. I don't really mind Spurs, but if it happened to Chelsea, it would be buzzing. Like, just don't like. But I don't mind Spurs. Like, no, but I don't like Chelsea. So it'd be funner if it happened to Chelsea instead of you. If we knocked them out in the semi-final and then they finished fourth and we won the Champions League ourselves, I mean, so they would lose their place too.
Hey, just before we go, lads, just a week ahead coming up. We've got Arsenal, Liverpool on Saturday, Leicester, Man City on Saturday. Obviously Easter Sunday, Decky, Newcastle, Spurs. City play Dortmund as well in the week. Liverpool, Chelsea, Porto. We've also got Real Madrid against Liverpool. So Emmett, Arsenal and Real Madrid within the next sort of 8 or 9 days. You feeling confident?
I'm against Arsenal. I'm not ready for Madrid. I don't know. I just have a wider feeling that they're going to.
What about you, Decky? Do you think? Obviously, we've done the Premier League things, but Liverpool, Real Madrid next week. Do you think Liverpool have every chance of qualifying?
I definitely do. No, I don't think the two of them. Obviously, Liverpool aren't what they were last season, like, but if I was a Liverpool fan now, they're looking at that Real Madrid team. There's nothing that would scare me at all. So it's not. I know Liverpool's weak. I know Liverpool is struggling at centre half, and you don't really want Benzema going up against two of them young boys, like. But everywhere else in the pitch, Real Madrid's there to be got it.
They're midfield for this school. Look, but they're midfields. You can run past them. I mean,
I do think it will be Chelsea Liverpool in the semi-finals, lads. But hey, thanks very much. Really enjoyed that. Good laugh on there for trying to predict some of them results. We'll have to look back at this in a few weeks' time. Hopefully, Decky, we're not too far away.
I'm telling you.
And Market. Well, you heard it here. Spurs are going to finish in the top 4. And you also heard of Emmett as well. Liverpool's going to finish in the top 4. But coming up towards the end of the weekend, we're going to have a Doc back, the Arsenal fan, and we're going to have my cousin meets Preston, big Liverpool fan, making his debut on the show as well, as we preview Arsenal and Liverpool on Thursday or Friday night. I'm going to have to see what suits. But until then, I'll catch you again, lads. Thanks very much.
Right,
cheers, folks.
Right,